Pokemon Ranger! I choose you!
What's up guys, it's your Pokemon Ranger Boy here and welcome to another review of the Pokemon X, Y, and Z anime. Today we'll talk about episode 5, which is called Pikachu Dreams of Puni-chan. And before I start with the actual review, I will tell you guys, if you think that this is just filler, then you are totally wrong guys. Because in the middle of the story it has a further meaning to the Zygarde story. But I will explain that later on. But now let's start with the actual story. Well, the story is like the following. Crew is deciding to take a rest from their journey. During their sleep, suddenly a Darkrai appears and are giving nightmares not only to Pikachu and Meowth but also to Punichan. And those nightmares of Punichan actually has a meaning. I could tell you stories of Pikachu's and Meowth's nightmares about speaking Pokemon and people which are speaking like Pokemon, but that's not really relevant. What really is relevant right now is the nightmare of Punichan, and I will totally focus on that. In Punichan's nightmare, it has been haunted by a mysterious fire monster. And I tell you guys, this fire monster is nothing more than a symbol of Team Flare, or actually Lysander's Pyro, or Lysander himself. But clearly enough, it's a symbol of Team Flare. This fire monster has been haunted Punichan, and we all know that Team Flare has been haunting Punichan for a long time and is still hunting it. Another thing really interesting is that this statement of mine also can be clear if we look at the subs. If we are looking at the conversation between Punichan and Meowth, where Punichan is telling Meowth that it's trying to catch me, and with it, it's clearly Team Flare. Also, Punichan explains to Meowth that if something would happen in between, Carlos' order will be disordered. And because of that, Punichan wants to go back to its hometown, and its hometown is the Terminus Cave. And because of that, I think that this is more than just a filler, because we are not only seeing why Punichan has been haunted, we are catching another ability of its power, because during the episode we are seeing Punichan reviving the nature around it within just seconds, and this is just a grasp of Zygarde's power as a legendary Pokemon. And I have to say guys that this is really impressive for just one little Zygarde core. We will also get to know that Meowth actually knows about Punichan's Zygarde 50% form, and because of that, Meowth is asking Punichan why Punichan doesn't actually use this appearance, but then Punichan responds that unless it won't go to its hometown, it can't become that appearance, and also that as long as Punichan is in his hometown, that those guys, or Team Flare, won't be able to attack it. So the more interesting part in this filler episode is actually the conversation between Meowth and Puni-chan, and Pikachu is kinda like a not so important role. So guys, for today's score, I will give the story a 8 out of 10. The beginning of Pikachu's nightmare wasn't really that important, but it was really comedic and I really liked it. But the more important thing is the conversation between Puni-chan and Meowth, and that Puni-chan reveals more of its powers and also of its story, because we also know now that Team Flare is chasing Puni-chan so badly that it's also chasing Punichan in its dreams. And also that Punichan desperately wants to go to the Terminus Cave so that it can be protected from Team Flare. Another reason why this episode scores high for me today is the fact that Darkrai appeared, and Darkrai is one of my all-time favorite legendary Pokemon. But not only because of that, the fact that Darkrai caused that nightmare of Punichan and also revealed so much more for the Zygarde story is another reason why today's episode scores high. What can I say about the focus? Of course the focus was Puni-chan. Well, the title also tells Pikachu, but as the title says, Pikachu was just a little part of this focus, and the main focus was of course Puni-chan. And not only have we been introduced with Punichan's goal to get to Terminus Cave, but also its powers to restore the nature. It was really awesome how it restored that destroyed environment around it within seconds, and I just love that power of that Zygarde core. And because of that, I will give it a 8 out of 10. It was awesome. What can I say about the animation? The animation highlights were of course Puni-chan when it has been revealing its Zygarde form to Pikachu and Meowth. I love the comedic animation of Pikachu and Meowth during their nightmares, and also of course the animation when Puni-chan restored the nature around it, and it just looked beautiful guys. And because of that, I will give it a 9 out of 10. So today's final score will be a 8.33 out of 10. with the recommendation, guys, watch it. Although many people and many reviewers tell you guys that this actually a filler, I can honestly tell you guys that this is more than just a filler, guys. It has a lot of comedic reliefs, it has also a really important part to the Zygarde story, and of course it has Darkrai, and because of that, this final score of today's episode is high today. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this review like always, and I hope to see you guys in one of my next videos. Bye guys!